Hi and welcome to this edition of Out of the Box. My name is Paul. Today we're going to be having a look at what is in this big box. This is the Ubiquiti Powerbeam. It's the 2AC 400mm version. So it works in the 2.4 gigahertz band. So really good for long distance, maybe 5-6 kilometers. It has a published throughput of up to about 300 megaseconds. You're probably not going to get that at that distance. But it's going to be great if you've got some level of foliage or vegetation in the way. The 2.4 gigahertz signal does tend to travel a little bit further in those types of environments. So let me show you what you've got in the box and how it all fits together. So you're going to get the reflector, solid metal construction. You're going to get the horn, which we'll have a look at in a moment. You will get a get started guide. Make sure I'm holding this up the right way. You're going to get started guide. All right, it's got all the mounting and fitting settings in there. Do remember that you're going to need two of these, one at either end, and they're both going to need some level of configuration. We do have information over on our YouTube channel on how to configure a point-to-point connection if you're not sure. You will get a PoE injector. So that is a power in this side, and then you have your network cable from your router or switch in this side, and PoE out. That PoE can run up to 100 meters down one Ethernet cable. It takes power and your data, mixes them together and takes it out to the unit, which is what we have here. You are going to get well, this is in Australia, so we've got a 3-pin Australian plug that end. All right, and we have our cloverleaf, or sometimes called Mickey Mouse connector there for your PoE injector. Right, you're now going to get a few components to fit all of this together. So this is pole mounted. It's designed to be pole mounted. So you're going to get your bolts to plug that all together. And you're going to get your start of your mounting brackets. So you can see here clearly it's got the teeth cuts in it. This is the front plate. This is the back plate. Our bolts are going to travel through these two holes. I'm going to clamp this around your pole like this. Obviously, this gives you this movement in all that you need to do to make that work. All right, once that's plugged in place, all right, then we can move on to using this additional bracket. This additional bracket here is going to clamp to our reflector, and once it's in place, that will then give us this movement. All right, so I'll show you the horn, and then I'll show you how we start to piece all of this together. So this is obviously the horn component, the component that is actually going to be using or broadcasting the signal and receiving it. So plastic construction, again, will be quite comfortable out in all conditions. All right, it has this section at the back is going to come off to allow us to mount it in the reflector. So firstly, we've got a clip here at the back. It takes a little bit of effort to pop that off. Once we've taken that off, you should be able to see fairly clearly in there is our Ethernet in. All right, then right at the top here is a very little small release button. I'm actually just going to push that in, and that will allow us to, he says, there we go, remove this plate from the horn. So now you can see we just have the horn, all right, and that is everything that is required for that. And obviously now we've got this end of the horn. The horn here, as you can see, has a level, all right, and like I said, this is where your Ethernet will come in. So how does this all fit together? Well, our first stage here is our reflector. We're going to take our first piece of fitment. We can pass it through, as you can see, the holes here. We're going to pass it through at an angle into those holes. Oh, there we go. See if I can do this in front of the camera. I can do this just slightly one-handed. All right, and lock it into place. So as you can see, that is now in place. If we were then to obviously complete our setup, we would then clamp this, if we can do it, there we go, clamp this onto our pole. Now we have our movement in the vertical, and our pole obviously gives us the horizontal. We then need to fix our horn. So our horn fixment, again, is very simple. We're going to take our horn, we're going to pass it through the middle here into place. All right, once it is in the correct position there, we'll show you a little bit more about the horn in a moment. Then we can obviously take our back plate here and clamp it into place. All right, and that once fitted properly, I've certainly not fitted it properly there, will be our actual dish and antenna. You will see, if I turn this around here, you're going to see a single signal strength indicator. I don't know if we can see it just across the side there. I know it's in white, all right, which will show you how strong that is as we start to line that up. Now, do remember that it's going to be good. You'll hear them all the time. Let's get a drip loop on this, guys. So if we're going to run cable, let's not cable down like this. If we have to cable down, let's come down. All right, so let's put this, we're going to come down, we're going to loop, and we're going to loop up into this. Why? Any moisture that's come here, any rain, anything that's actually come from that cable that you've come through will now drip off at the bottom of the loop down here, and it won't seep back into the connector, and it will keep this safe, and it will last longer out in all weather conditions. So do head on over to our YouTube channel. We have plenty more box openings on wireless networking and firewall devices. This how-to guide, setting up point-to-point connections, what do I need for my unified network, all of those type of things. So do stay up to date and subscribe there. Hopefully that's been useful. That's the Powerbeam, the PBE-2AC-400. My name's Paul.